Thank you and welcome to the Academy. This is where we learn. It's a university of life. Okay. Today I want to teach us about. It's a book review that I'm doing. I have a number of books that I want to review, and today I have this special book which I want you to learn from. It is written "The Jewish Phenomenon." The Jewish Phenomenon, and this one is done by Steven Silberger, who is trying to trace why the Jews succeed, why the Jews succeed. It's a very interesting book that I would want you to just find a copy and read. And I would just want to read sections. Of course, I'm not reading the whole of it for you. I am just mentioning as sections so that we can learn something from it. And from the onset, it is important that we appreciate that the Jews are very few. And so it says in one expert that I want to just pick. It says in the world of about 6 billion people, there are only 13 million Jews, only 1/5 of 1%. Okay, uh, so it tells you that the Jews are a minority actually, and and so from that point you realize, and from the onset, is that you don't need to be so many to succeed, but you can be outstanding in your character and your belief system and be able to uh, be a people of influence in the world. And so the Jews can best be understood as members of a tribe, a cohesive ancestral group with particular customs, traditions, and values. Those values can be religious and the customs linguistic. So I just want to read these other sections as we continue. This is a very interesting book that I really want to ask you to read. On the concept of wealth, the Jewish perspective of money, they say that money is good. And this actually, the book compares the belief system of a Jew compared to a Christian. And the book says, according to the New Testament, the Christian world has at best an ambivalent attitude toward money and wealth. The book says, easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God. That is in Matthew 19:24, Luke 18:25, Mark 10:21. Another one says, you cannot serve God and wealth. And another one says, if we have food and clothing, we will be content with this. But those who want to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. Timothy 6:8-9. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Timothy 6:10. And then it says further that for Jews, so in comparison or in contrast, Jews, on the other hand, wealth is a good thing, a worthy and respectable goal to strive toward. What's more, once you earn it, it is tragic to lose it. Judaism has never considered poverty a virtue. Uh, and it says the Jewish founding fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, were blessed with the cattle and land in abundance. Asceticism and self denial are not Jewish ideals. With your financial house in order, it is easier to pursue your spiritual life. That's how they believe. They say where there is no flour, there is no Bible. Okay? Uh, And then there is also poverty causes transgression. Poverty is in a man's house is worse than 50 plagues. That is how they believe. And many more, many more. And so I want to jump and just to read some sections on what they believe and on the contents of this book. Maybe I just do a recap. There's one which is very key, which is very important. They say, understand that real wealth is portable and it is knowledge. Okay? So real wealth is portable and it is knowledge. And so they believe that once you have a good knowledge, you can escape with it. And that explains why they go for top professions. They go for top professions so that they're able to remain at the point levels of influence. And let me just read one section here. It talks about choose the best education possible. He says that in his research for ethnic America, Dr. Sowell found that a part of the reason for higher Jewish income is that Jews have not only more education, but also better education from higher quality colleges and in more demanding and remunerative fields. A bad mistake parents can make is to send their child to a college that is below his or her abilities, since part of the education comes from the lessons learned from the fellow students. Seeking high caliber students is important. Okay? And so it says the child's social environment is also determined by college classmates who become lifelong friends, business associates, and on occasion, spouses. The quality of the teachers will also be commensurate with the quality of students. And so this lie that we have always had that the school doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it matters. And it really matters for the Jews. And so there is also develop and demonstrate informed and literate habits. When parents demonstrate literate habits, they set an important example for their children to emulate. They show children the value of reading and being informed, and says and encourage them to watch the news and read the newspapers, and stress the importance of worldview. Parents should have frequent conversation about age-appropriate current events with their children. Your habits spur your children's imagination, knowledge, and literacy. And so this is a very important book that you need to read. Very, very important book that you need to read. Another one, the Jews had been forbidden to own land in the old century, but their non-agricultural skills served them well in America. Okay? That's very key that they were not allowed to own agricultural land. It says the exclusion from the mainstream European society from agriculture in particular became the Jews' biggest competitive advantage when they came to to America. They lived with their urban they arrived with their urban skills. And that is very important. They were not allowed to own agricultural land, but when they came with the urban skills, and so they were able now to continue. To grow, even though they were not in agriculture, and that's why it says their non-agricultural skills served them well in America. They brought with them an ingrained understanding that money was essential, not only for the good life, but for life itself. The European experience repeatedly taught Jews the value of owning transportable assets and transportable skills. You can imagine what it is, transportable assets and transportable skills. That is actually if they were coming as doctors, and in case of any war, they would move around. They would go to another location and begin to settle there without needing to to leave their houses. And so they invested in education and in careers that would be easily transported, whether it was being doctors, those who could study medicine, those who could study law, accountancy, those professions, those top professions. And so this book is teaching us that we should appreciate that professions, we should take our children to best professions, and so that they are able to start their own businesses. It also says that successful people are professionals and entrepreneurs, and successful are professionals and entrepreneurs. It says develop your verbal confidence, be selectively extravagant but prudently frugal. It says celebrate individuality, encourage creativity, and also it says have something to prove, a drive to succeed. Okay, that's very important. I also want to read for you on that. Have something to prove, a drive to succeed. It says a motivation is the elusive quality that transforms good ideas into reality. Without execution, the most creative person would remain the next potential Michael Dell or Steve Spielberg. The question is what motivates Jews to succeed? Uh, then, although Jews have reached the top in a variety of fields, they are still considered the outsiders of the Western civilization. Jews have always been trying to gain acceptance while at the same time maintaining their cultural identity. This causes a great deal of internal conflict. Of internal conflict, uh, but it also serves as a drive to succeed. Now you realize that they are fighting they are fighting exclusion. They are being excluded. They are being seen as people who have strong roots, cultural roots, but that drives them, gives them a reason to succeed. It's a drive. It motivates them and it gives them the reason because they know they are a minority. They are always striving to succeed. So this is a wonderful book. You can choose this one. I bought in the streets of Nairobi. I have read it. I think I bought it on 12th of September 2020, and it has changed my mind a great way. I know it can also be of help to you. Time, read it. I've not been paid. I only thought that it's a good book, so I've not been paid to advertise it. But I think you need to know why the Jews are successful. Thank you very much, and I want to welcome you to like this clip and subscribe to our page, our channel, and so that you can be informed every time we go live. Thank you very much, and God bless you.